On behalf of all the Supreme Officers and Directors, I want to express our appreciation for your dedication and for your participation at this state convention. Your commitment and hard work is the key to our success. I also want to thank the wives and other family members who stand by you and frequently join you in the many KFC activities that contribute so much to our parishes, our communities, our families, and those in need everywhere. We are nearing the end of the year for priests, proclaimed last June by Pope Benedict XVI. And just a few blocks from our headquarters here in New Haven is St. Mary's Church, where the Venerable Michael McGivney joined with men of his parish to found the Knights of Columbus 128 years ago. From the very beginning, we were dedicated to supporting Father McGivney and all of our priests and bishops, standing in solidarity with them as together we work to build and sustain the Catholic Church. We are known throughout the Church for our support for vocations. Thousands of seminarians receive millions of dollars from us in support of their studies each year. When your council provides RSVP support to a seminary student, it is appreciated more than you may realize. Recently, seminarians at St. Mary's Seminary in Baltimore, where Father McGivney completed his studies for the priesthood in 1877, were talking among themselves about their own individual journeys to the priesthood. In a joint letter to us, they wrote this: "After sharing stories and memories, something incredible happened. Despite the various paths that brought us to the seminary, one thing remained constant: the prayers and support of our brother Knights of Columbus." Today there are tens of thousands of priests and bishops all over the world who receive support from us during their formation and who are also brother Knights. A great many of them come from the families of Knights. They appreciate not only the support they receive while in the seminary, but also the friendship, brotherhood, and support we provide today. The burden that our priests carry is a heavy one. They serve large numbers of the faithful in many parishes, and they must always know that they can count on our help. To all of our chaplains and to every priest who is a brother Knight, we say thank you for all that you, like Father McGivney, have sacrificed to serve Christ and His Church. Now let me briefly mention two other things that I'd like you to consider carefully, both at this convention and when you get back to your home councils. First, I want to emphasize the importance of membership growth. We are approaching a milestone in the growth of our order. By the end of this fraternal year, our membership will exceed 1.8 million members. That is a great milestone, and I applaud all of you who have worked so hard to bring in new members and to establish new councils. But I want everyone to remember that our potential membership is enormous. If every council reached a goal of having just 10% of the men in their parish as members of the Knights of Columbus, the number of Knights would more than double. Think of how much more we could accomplish with twice as many members. Doubling our membership is a goal well within our reach. In fact, when you come right down to it, 1 in 10 is actually a very modest goal. We have already passed another milestone this year. In March, we exceeded $75 billion of life insurance in force, an all-time record, and that is a tremendous testament to our more than 1,400 field agents and general agents. These highly trained and dedicated brother Knights work very hard to ensure that we fulfill Father McGivney's vision of protecting Knights and their families and for providing for their financial future. Even in these difficult economic times, our insurance program has enjoyed strong growth, and it's not hard to see why. In the wake of the economic turmoil of the past several years, the Knights of Columbus remains one of the strongest insurance providers in North America. While a number of life insurance companies have seen their ratings slip in the wake of the economic storm, we remain one of only 3 insurers to retain the top ratings from both Standard & Poor's and AM Best, together with certification for ethical business practices. We call our financial products Your Shield for Life, and that really says it all. But even as we celebrate hitting the $75 billion mark, we should remember that only a third of our members are insurance members. 2/3 of our Brother Knights either have life insurance elsewhere or are leaving their families unprotected. If you're not already an insurance member, you should consider becoming one today. Your family deserves the solid protection of our life insurance program by Brother Knights, for Brother Knights. And finally, I want to speak with you about the first principle of our order, charity. KFC stands for Knights of Columbus, but our generosity and commitment to those in need leaves no doubt that KFC can just as easily stand for Knights of Charity. During the last fraternal year, we donated more than $150 million to charity. Our members are very generous, and in just a few short weeks after the powerful earthquake in Haiti in January, Knights donated more than $500,000 to help the people of that country survive and rebuild. But we do much more than just give money. We roll up our sleeves and we give of ourselves. The 68 million hours of your time that you volunteered to charitable projects last year made a huge difference in the lives of countless people in need. Texas Knights, for example, built a wheelchair ramp for the police officer who was wounded when she bravely took down the shooter who killed 13 people at Fort Hood. And Connecticut Knights organized a statewide effort to purchase a van specially outfitted to hold 12 wheelchairs for amputee veterans at a VA hospital. Knights in the Philippines organized relief efforts in the wake of Typhoon Ketsana last September. A research professor at the University of Windsor may now be on the verge of a breakthrough in breast cancer research, thanks to support provided by Canadian Knights. When other funding sources to support his work could not be found, Ontario Knights stepped forward to raise $26,000 for his research work. Knights in central Mexico, who were concerned about the education of their children, worked together to establish 2 new parish schools. These Knights provided the leadership, and now the entire community has joined in their effort. Knights in Poland were concerned about school children skipping school or getting into trouble after school. So they organized activities that were both safe and interesting. Soon they had introduced hundreds of enthusiastic children to the game of chess, sponsoring 19 tournaments on their own and joining in others in nearby areas. Efforts like these are replicated in thousands of parishes and local communities, wherever there are Knights of Columbus. In the colder jurisdictions of the U.S. and Canada this past winter, Knights distributed brand new winter coats to 10,000 children whose families couldn't afford to buy them one. Our Food for Families program is now helping thousands of people for whom the economic downturn has meant real hardship. And of course, there are the programs in which we enrich the lives of others in partnership with organizations like Special Olympics, Habitat for Humanity, and the Global Wheelchair Mission. Charity is at the center of our lives as Knights of Columbus. I want to encourage each of you to redouble your efforts and those of your councils on behalf of the poor and less fortunate in the months and years to come. You will not only be making a difference in their lives, you will be making a difference in your own life. And let me make a further suggestion. Invite all the men of your parish to join your council's charitable programs. Let these men participate and see firsthand the great good we Knights are accomplishing, and then invite them to join the Knights of Columbus. I am confident that the momentum we have gained working together this year can continue into the new fraternal year. Together, let's make it the greatest year in the history of the Knights of Columbus, a year you and I will forever be proud of, a year that will change for the better the lives of hundreds of thousands of men and women who need the helping hand of the Knights of Columbus. May Venerable Michael McGivney continue to intercede for us, and may Our Lady of Guadalupe protect us and all that we hope to accomplish. Vivat Jesus!